Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack today. I'm back with pack number 26 in my 1988 Topps Mini Leaders box. I'm trying to see how many packs I have to crack to get all 77 cards in the complete set. I've included the link to the preview video in the description below, which gives a little explanation on the set and the highlights of what I could pull in cracking these packs. Since each pack only has 7 cards in it, I'm going to guess the category or categories that the player led their league in, and then I'm going to flip it over and see if I was right or how very bad my memory is in the 1987 MLB season. I've got my checklist out. Let's check off number 26. For my second set, I only need 10 more cards. So hopefully I'll be able to complete that second set and then get my third set by pack 36. Hopefully I'll get 3 sets out of it. So let's get to cracking this pack and going through cards. I see George Bell as the back card, and I know that's one of the cards I need to get for my second set. So is Dave Righetti. So this might be an awesome pack. I might get 7 cards that I need to complete my second set. Okay, so starting off, Fernando Valenzuela. That is one that I need. Okay, looking really good. Valenzuela had a rubber arm for many years in the mid-'80s. Tommy Lasorda just kept throwing him out there. He routinely led the league in games started, innings pitched through the 80s. Finally, his arm fell off. He had some injury time and never really recovered. 87 was a pretty good year. It was 1 year before the Dodgers went and won the World Series. Valenzuela was a league leader, I believe, in strikeouts, I think victories, and maybe even innings pitched. So he was 4th in strikeouts with 190, 1st in complete games with 12, 3rd in innings pitched, 8th in victories, and 8th in games started. He was 14 and 14 in 87. I think this was his last year where he threw a ton of innings before his arm kind of fell off. Next up is Mike Schmidt. Okay, so another one that we needed to get for the second set. Schmidt battled Dale Murphy for the 1980 MVP and home run lead in just about every year. Schmidt, fantastic player. Kind of toward the end of his career, he retired in 1989, so by this time he was moving from third base to first base. I believe Schmidt was a league leader in home run and RBI. 3rd in RBI with 113. Even his 35 home runs, that only got him as good as 6th in the National League. He was 7th in slugging percentage and 8th in, let's get that to focus a little bit more, 8th in walks. Okay, Orel Hershiser, Fernando's teammate for a number of those years. So yeah, it looks like we're going to really knock out a lot toward the second set. Hershiser had a phenomenal 1988 where he led the league in ERA. I think he had a string of 59 and 2/3 scoreless innings, setting a major league record. In 87, he was no slouch. I believe he was a league leader in strikeouts and wins as well. So he was 3rd in ERA, 3rd in victories, 3rd in strikeouts, 1st in innings, 3rd in complete games, and 4th in games started. So yeah, Tommy Lasorda didn't like to use his bullpen that much. Really rode his starters for quite a while, and a lot of them ended up having some arm woes because of that. George Bell, who we saw as back of the pack, was fantastic in 1987. He won the AL MVP award, helped drive the Blue Jays to almost the pennant. They battled the Tigers down the stretch and I believe lost out by a single game. Tigers went on to lose to the Twins in the American League Division Series. And then the Twins went on to beat my Cardinals in the World Series. Bell was a league leader in home runs, RBI, I want to say game-winning RBI as well. So he was 1st in RBI, 2nd in runs, 2nd in home runs, and 5th in game-winning RBI. He was also 2nd in slugging percentage. Bell had a pretty good career, but toward the end of the 80s and early 90s, he slumped off quite a bit and then was out of Major League Baseball. Next up is Frank Viola. So another one we need toward the second set. Viola was a key component to the Twins going to the World Series and winning it in 1987. He was a league leader, I believe, I don't know if he led the league in wins. He probably led the league in wins, ERA, probably innings. a second in ERA, fifth in games started, seventh in strikeouts, eighth in victories. So even though he won 17 games, that was only good enough for eighth in the American League and 10th in innings. So Frank Viola, I was so upset in the 87 World Series. The Cardinals just couldn't hit him. And he won games 1 and 7, and they got to him a little bit in game 4 in the victory, but Viola shut him down. Okay, Tim Wallach. Yep, looks like this pack is going to pretty much get me down to within 3 of completing my second set. Tim Wallach was a NL All-Star for the Expo for a number of years, their third baseman. Wallach wasn't a huge power hitter he would hit around 20 to 25 home runs each year. I don't recall what he led the league in. I'm going to go with RBI and maybe doubles. So good thing I said doubles. He was first in doubles, first in game-winning RBI, and second in RBI. He's 7th in hits and 10th in slugging percentage. Wallach eventually moved on to the Dodgers. I believe he had a couple of sons that played Major League Baseball as well. But I liked Tim Wallach. I thought he was a pretty cool player. Aside from the Cardinals third baseman, Tim Wallach usually was the third baseman I rooted for in the All-Star games, or to go to the All-Star games. Dave Righetti is our final card out of the pack. And Righetti, interestingly enough, started his career as a starter, threw a no-hitter in the 1983 season, and then transitioned to the bullpen. For a while, he held the American League record for most saves in a season. Had a pretty lengthy career, and currently, I think he still is the pitching coach for the San Francisco Giants. So he's parlayed his pitching success into being a pitching coach. I don't know if he's ever gotten any run as a manager. So he was a league leader in saves. I think maybe he was first in saves. No, second in saves with 31. This was a year after his record-breaking year where he set the American League record for saves. Favorite card out of the pack, or the card I want to highlight? I'm going to go with George Bell. I liked the Blue Jays for a while. My younger brother was a Blue Jay fan while I was a Cardinal fan. Bell was a power hitter. What's really interesting about him is when he came up, he spelled his name the traditional Spanish spelling with a J, J-O-R-G-E, and went by Jorge. But somewhere along the line, he changed it to George. I don't know, maybe to fit in, who knows. George Bell is more typically an American-sounding name than a Spanish-sounding name. Bell had a lot of success with the Blue Jays. Problem was he feuded a little bit with management for whatever reason. Got sent to the White Sox. I think maybe he went to the Cubs, then the White Sox, or White Sox Cubs. I don't quite remember. But he was really the key offensive component for the Blue Jays in a lot of their mid-'80s to late '80s success. So anyway, real quick recap. I think I'm just down to 3 cards left. Yep, Rickey Henderson is one. Looks like Rickey Henderson's one, Howard Johnson is one, and Mike Duna is one. Interestingly enough, I believe those 3 were the last 3 I needed to complete my first set. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share, and also share with me in the comments what was your favorite card or what you thought was the best card in the pack. Until next time, when I'm back to crack next pack of 1988 Topps Mini Leaders in my quest to complete set number 2. I only have 3 more to go.